Karma's got a thing for me. We hold hands, make plans, keep the receipts. Karma, she's my best friend. One step closer, here's how it ends. Karma's got a thing for me. You see, you'll be digging up 6 feet. Karma's never let me down. My smile will kill when I cut you out. It's karma. It's okay to hurt your voice screaming in my face. I know you gotta bark when you don't got bite. Tell me, what's that like? What's that like? Being that insecure, acting up, immature. Had enough, I'm so bored. I'm so bored.
Hello everyone. Hello Bama. Hello Annie. That song is good. I like that song. I know I'm gonna save that for later, but that's a hype song. It's that one. It's Ariadne Karma Electronic Pop NCS. Listen a little bit more.
It's karma.
It reminds me of another song. Oh yeah. I remember. It's the other song is called Satisfaction. Hello Mel. Good morning. Good morning everyone. Yeah. Yeah, those were the songs from my high school. How's everyone doing today? I just woke up. I did some laundry, which I need to put another one to wash. I guess my something. I just got out of the shower, so I guess I put my hat on the shower or on the water. So let me go change that. I don't like how it looks like that. One sec. Oh, Rory's here, by the way. Look at her. Look at that pretty girl. She's right here. She's here to watch the stream with us. Right, one second. All right. I'm back. Snowing in Cleveland. That's fun. I mean, I live next to California, so I was in Big Bear on January. That was fun. Hello, Peeps K. Hello, Lucy. Good morning, everyone. All right, so what should we watch today? I could always put this as a background before we settle on anything.
Not prior to that day, no.
Hello, Mara. Meowdy to you, Lucy.
Made reference to car key being found. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Did you yourself find the car key?
No, I did not.
Were you told by other law enforcement?
Yes.
I guess told what exactly?
That a car key was found.
I was not specifically. Your items that were located on you during the search were turned over to Detective Stern, and the car key was one of those items.
And to the best of your knowledge, you didn't have that information at the time, correct?
At which time?
At the time that the detainee was detained in the substation.
I really like how he tries to remove himself from the situation. Like, he never says when I was, even though he was there. He was like the detainee. He likes to pretend that he actually has a client, which he doesn't.
Thank you for that clarification. Go ahead and answer.
I just want to make sure I guess that I understand. So you're asking me what I knew about the key, or if I knew where it was found at the substation? I don't understand. Can you clarify that, sir?
I guess the clarity that you may be looking for is...
Also, by the way, someone knows a quick way, or I guess a way to remove chocolate stains from clothing? Because, look. Well, while I was in New York 2 days ago, 1 month ago, I was I was eating I was drinking some hot chocolate, and I was in the subway, and some guy just ran from my blind side and hit my hand with the chocolate in it, and now it has all these chocolate stains in it. So I don't know if those are gonna come out. I'm not sure if I should use bleach. Peroxide. I'll see if I have that. Yeah, it's just a white. It's just chocolate, and it's just on this side. But I'm gonna try to clean that out later. I have white vinegar. It's not distilled though.
What was found and brought into the substation?
Okay. The Ford ignition key and other items that I alluded to in my earlier testimony include your photo ID and credit cards with your name, or debit card, credit and or debit cards with your name on them.
That you did not search and find yourself, right?
That's correct.
He believes that if he doesn't find it himself, it's hearsay, which is not.
Did you conduct any searches?
I don't recall if I did or not of your person.
Hello, Karen.
So it'd be fair to say you don't know where certain items were found at the time that you learned of.
I have. Let me show you the vinegar that I have. Look, I have the apple vinegar, and I have this. It doesn't look so well, but it's a white vinegar of. I guess I don't know how you guys call it in English, but it's alcohol.
There being items found, correct?
No.
No, as in...
No, I knew those items were found on you in the search. Maybe not the specific pocket, but I knew the officers found those items in your possession.
Were you at the scene of the search?
No,
So how do you know where they were found?
because they were turned over to Detective Stern as your property.
All right, so I'll try that.
How do you know where they were found, though, if you weren't at the scene?
Because I was aware officers searched you, and it's not reasonable to believe they were randomly in the grass at the house you were at in a city that you've indicated you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
Can you strike that last answer?
I love how he likes to strike his own answers. That's really so mind-boggling to me. Like, why would you strike an answer that you asked for?
Record. I didn't refer to any house, grass.
You asked
City.
an open-ended question. His answer will stand. Your request is denied.
So it'd be fair to say that in the question I did not mention a house, grass, or a city. That'd be fair to say.
Yeah, but also you didn't limit your question to not include those, so it's on you.
You didn't mention it, but I know you were found at a house in the city of Waukesha. And I know you're not familiar with Waukesha because that's what you told me when I interviewed you.
Yeah.
Can you strike that last answer?
No, because you asked for it. And even if you strike it, the bell is already wrong. The jury already heard that answer. They're not gonna forget it.
Request is denied.
Good.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
Because she
You
wants
asked the
to.
question.
She doesn't need to give you a grounds for it. She just can say like, you're done and you're done.
And he answered it. If you want to limit, ask leading questions and direct him.
This is what I love. She just told him that you can lead when you're cross-examining, and there's a point later on the trial where he forgets about that, and he complains that the state is leading with his witnesses. he totally forgets that she told him that. She gave him a legal advice, and he doesn't take advantage of it. I'm gonna go get the baking soda.
You made reference to the house where the detainee was found, the grass, the city. Could it be possible that that's where they were found? The items that you are referring to?
No.
Even though it'd be fair to say that you were not present.
Correct.
You made a lot of reference to the body pain and having to be checked at the hospital and being medically cleared. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, we took you to the hospital for clearance.
Are you yourself a doctor or have any training in the medical field?
No, sir.
So it'd be fair to say that you cannot know how a person's body is feeling. That'd be fair to say?
I can't explain exactly what another's body's feeling, correct.
Hello, Mel. Yeah.
So
I
it'd
get
also be
the
fair to
thing
say
about
that
I get the thing about the mask, but after seeing him do his no mask during his witnesses, I appreciate that he has the mask on all the time while this is going on. Like, I'm just saying, it looks better this way. Let's just leave it at that.
there's a possibility that you can be incorrect about assumptions made to pain reference. That'd be fair to say?
I think that depends on the circumstance.
Yeah, if you're saying that you cannot move your arm, that is a throbbing pain, and then you start doing this, I'm not gonna believe you. This is the baking soda that you guys talk about, right? I have it on Spanish, but I believe this is baking soda.
In this specific circumstance, you
Okay,
told me.
question, the last follow-up if he wants it.
Okay.
Yeah, I also don't understand the mask backwards. Like, not at all. And how much you think that I should put? I have this little, it's half a teaspoon. So should I put like 2 of them and then just down it with vinegar? Hello, Ericology. Like 1. 2. And then like a splash of vinegar. Like just a little bit. I'm doing this live. So a paste. So it has to be less liquid. Oh god. Oh god. All right. I don't know that was gonna be fizzy. Hello, Sophie. I got scared a little bit.
Next questions.
You made a reference on one of the exhibits. I'm not sure exactly which one it was. It was the first interrogation in the police holding room in the hospital.
Yeah, hello, Karen. I don't think we have gained on Mexico. I wish I was in USA yesterday. I wish I knew about that. But I don't think we have that one here. I'm gonna put a little bit more. Hello, Carrie. I'm gonna put up a little bit more baking soda because it's not a paste.
In that exhibit, you made reference to the FBI being present because you were short-staffed. Do you recall that?
I don't recall exactly what I said, but I recall acknowledging their presence. Yes.
All right. I think that's good enough. Let's do it.
And you made a reference to short-staffed. Can you explain what does short-staffed mean?
It means that everyone was on the street picking up what you did. That's what short staff means.
I don't recall if I said that or not.
I don't know if it's exhibit 172 I'm referring to. Can you pull up exhibit 172, please?
We refer to the photo of the identifiers and the items found.
Is that
That's
172?
172, yes.
Well, I don't think, is it 81 then I'm referring to?
81 is the audio recording.
Okay, it's
I'm
81.
sorry, 81 is the video and audio.
Of the,
Was it just the audio? I was right the first time. It's
okay, I think it's 81.
You would like the audio recording from the hospital.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a part you'd like to direct the state to when they pull it up?
Because it's the audio, I'm assuming it'd be probably as soon as the defendant is brought into the room.
It was played starting at 4 minutes and 25 seconds through 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Do you want it started right at 4:25?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The state would please assist with that.
How long would you like it to be played?
Do you know how long you want it played, or do you want the whole thing? The
I don't-
same clip?
I don't need the whole thing played. From what I recall, the point that I would refer to is pretty early in that.
Well, how about we start at 4:25 and then you say pause, please, when you want it to be paused by the state.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
I'll go grab you your water.
I'll tell you. Tight.
Darrell?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Darrell. I'm Jeremy Wojciechowski. I'm the FBI.
FBI.
Yeah. That's my partner.
FBI?
I'm Mary. Yep.
They're just kind of helping out because we're so short-staffed tonight. So,
Thank you.
It's paused at 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Go ahead.
From hearing the audio on this exhibit 81, do you recall saying that the FBI was present because you were short-staffed?
that is my voice. I don't recall saying it in the moment, but that's my voice.
That is your voice.
That is me talking.
So from your recollection, do you recall being short-staffed at that time?
Yes.
And can you explain what the short staff mean as far as at that time, what would short staff mean?
That we were just very short on resources with what happened down at the parade route and the mass casualties and the amount of officers it took to secure that location. We were very short on people.
And
People were called in off duty.
You made reference to the short staff being the reason why the FBI was present.
Yes.
All right, I did it. So should I just leave it there or should I put it on the washing machine right now? Yeah, this guy makes me think. Did you guys ever watch I believe it's Modern Family? Is it Modern Family where this guy? Modern Family. Maybe not. You guys know who I'm thinking? He was in Scary Movie. Hey, Jonathan Banks was on Modern Family. Hey, Jesse Eisenberg. I didn't know that. He was in Scary Movie too. This David Cross, yeah. He looks like David Cross. Can you guys see it? Like this guy, and then you look at this guy. Right? They kind of look similar, right?
Is FBI usually present in the
All right,
situation
I'm gonna go
of short
toss it in the
staffing?
washing machine.
No.
Maybe put that off, or do
Yes,
you need it?
I'm sorry. Aaron.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure if you needed it, it's up. All right, it's
Sometimes
taken
I
down.
forget it's still up there.
Thanks to all of us.
Yeah. And you made reference to recording the interrogation on your phone, correct?
Yes.
And why would you use your phone to record an interrogation? Especially one of this magnitude.
Because the camera in the room didn't have audio capability.
And were you informed of that? Or let me back up. When were you informed that the camera that was in the room did not have audio?
I don't recall exactly. Prior to the interrogation.
And who were you told by?
Hospital security.
Was that the first time you had ever used that police holding room in that hospital?
No.
So it would be fair to assume that you were aware that that room had cameras.
Yes, I knew it had cameras.
And have you ever conducted an interrogation in that room before that evening?
Interrogation, no, but I'd use the room for other purposes.
So what
Hey,
prompted
we all learned something
an
today.
interrogation in that room that specific evening?
Well, as I explained in my earlier testimony, the situation down in the downtown area of Waukesha where the mass casualty incident had occurred was very fluid. It was
Yeah, right, Mel? He always liked to talk about how big this case was, how important it is, even though he likes to downplay the fact that he was the cause of it.
still unfolding at that time. We were learning more and more and more about what occurred. We decided to start the interview at that location to see if you'd be willing to shed light on for us as to what you did or did not know.
Joe Jester, Darrell does not understand that the only reason why the FDA was there was because Brooks committed an act of domestic terrorism. Yeah, I mean, they were just trying to find out if he was doing it for other purposes, if there were more people involved.
And again, I'll go back to statements I made earlier. There's a risk inherent with every transport. I didn't know where your ultimate final location was going to be that night, so to now start bouncing you from facility to facility to facility unnecessarily was just something we made the decision not to do.
And at some point, the detainee was moved to the Muskego Police Department, correct?
Yes, you were moved to the Muskego Police Department later in the year.
My mom actually gave this to me. It's called Scrubbing Bubbles Bathroom Cleaner. This is what I use for my shower.
And when did you learn that that would be a location that the detainee would be going to?
We made the decision to try to use that location after the first interrogation attempt.
I'm sorry that I didn't hear the last part.
I'm sorry, after the first interrogation attempt.
First interrogation attempt. How would you define attempt?
Well, when we were at Waukesha Memorial Hospital that night in the police holding room that we've discussed, I read you your Miranda rights verbatim from the Waukesha Police Department Miranda statement form. And at that time you indicated you didn't wish to speak with me.
Yeah.
So it would be fair to say that the Fifth Amendment right was exercised at that point.
No. You just say you didn't want to talk right now, and I really hate how he tries to spin this. Like, after I say that I didn't want to talk, that doesn't mean that they have to stop talking. Like, you can stop talking. You can just stay mute after invoking your right to a lawyer and remain silent. But that doesn't mean that they have to stop talking. They can still ask you questions. And if you talk, that's on you, not on them.
Right to silence.
Under the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
So, acknowledging now the fact that the Fifth Amendment right was invoked not to speak, or as you say, the right to silence, why did you continue to record on your phone?
So we are trained at our police department, when you do an interrogation, the recording is to be left on pretty much until you try to effect transport. So typically what we would do is, if our building hadn't been under construction, and when we'd been able to get you back to our police department, where in that situation we may very well have transported you, just because we would have had a municipal lockup there and we could have held you for the night. But That again was difficult based on the fact that we didn't have that possibility at the time. So if someone's in an interview room and at our police department, we'll leave that, even after the interrogation's over, we'll leave that video running until we come back and remove the
Of course. Hey, Rory. Michelle says hi. You want to say hi to Michelle? Yes? No? Yes? Come here. Come here. Hello, Michelle. Say hello. Hello. Hello.
individual from that room.
Even once a detainee has invoked their right to silence, you still continue to record. Is that a standard practice of your agency?
Yes, it is, for as long as they remain in the room.
Don't eat the baking soda. That's not for you.
And so when did you start recording?
Are you talking at Waukesha Memorial Hospital?
Correct.
Prior to you entering the room.
So you started recording before the detainee entered the room,
Yes.
and you said you keep the recording on until they leave the room.
Yes.
So would it be fair to say that there should only be recording while the detainee is in the room?
No. No. Can you imagine if there's a camera in the with audio recording on that room? They need to stop the camera and only start it when you are in the room? No, that's not how security works.
No.
No.
And you did say for the record that that's standard procedure in your agency.
Yes.
In regards to the interview rooms at our normal police department, which wasn't available at that time. Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you were not at the normal police department?
Yes, however, with the audio, I was still trying to make sure I followed the policy to the best of my ability.
Can you show proof of that policy?
I don't have it.
So it'd be fair to say that there's no way to determine if that truly is policy if it can't be proven.
Objection argument.
You didn't ask him to prove it before. Like, that's if he was in the stand and I was like, prove that you're American. And I will be like, well, I don't have my certificate right now. You didn't ask me to bring it. Then how do we know that you're American? Huh? Checkmate, cop.
Sustained. As to the form of the question, it's argumentative.
How can that policy be proven?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained on relevance grounds.
Do you know where that procedure is located in your agency rules?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Yeah, who cares? This is
Grounds.
this is not about your interrogation. This is about what you did and what you said.
Say, Your Honor.
Relevance grounds.
And remember that he spoke for 5 hours. 5 hours.
Relevance.
I hate this look. You see this look? He's like, really? Really? Are you saying that it's not relevant, Your Honor? I hate this condescending look.
Not relevant.
Hello, Paula. Good to see you again. It's awesome to hear it from you from Wales. What time is it there? Is it like 6, 7 p.m.? I don't know how time zones work. But I plan to go, my goal for next year is to go to London, so I'll be close to that. But that's gonna be until February next year. Look at this. I paused it in the perfect moment. He's like a kid.
It's not relevant.
And now he's smiling. You can see the smile through the... I'm just gonna say that I'm happy that he has this mask.
No, keep going. We can take it up later outside the presence of the jury at our afternoon break, but for now, keep going.
I follow, Your Honor. I apologize.
Good. Move on.
Keep going, okay.
So once the detainee was taken to the Muskego Police Department, that would be a pretty standard police department. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And a second interrogation also took place at that police department, correct?
Yes.
Any reason why the first interrogation couldn't take place at the same police department that the second one took place?
Oh, that's right. The time changed today. I was wondering why I woke up so late. I was like, why? But yeah, it's 10:08 a.m. today. No wonder I was like, it's time to stream already. I was like, I had time. I was starting to put my clothes in the washing machine. But yeah, they stole an hour from us.
What's that?
Well, the first interrogation again wasn't at a police department. You know, Muskego was utilized as they had a lockup facility, so we interviewed you there.
Around what time was the detainee taken to the Muskego Police Department?
I don't recall the exact time.
And you also stated that another law enforcement
Mr. Brooks,
officer.
I apologize for the interruption, but I just want to make sure my jury is in good shape. If you want to just take a moment to stand.
I love that she interrupts him mid questions. I think that's great. All right, so you guys want to continue to see this? I could watch this all day, but if you guys want to watch something else, just let me know. If you have any suggestions, if you have any other case that you guys want to see, I'm down for anything.
A little slow, I think, for them, so we're just going to stand for a minute. Again, my apologies for the interruption.
He's mad. He's mad that she interrupted. She killed his flow of interrogation. Also, this is what I imagine Darrell will look next to me. Like, pretty much, he's a tiny guy.
Anyone on my jury need a break? Are we good? I'd like to keep going.
All right, everyone's good with this?
Anyone?
I'm good with
Okay.
this. I
No
love
response
this
to that.
part.
They said they're good. All right, we'll sit back down. And again, my apologies, Mr. Brooks.
we could watch
Hopefully
the interrogation
you know where you
after,
were.
if you guys want.
Yeah. It was another law enforcement officer who actually did the transport of the detainee at that time, correct?
Yes.
And you stated earlier in testimony that you and your partner followed behind that transport. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And I'm assuming at some point that you will actually strike that.
Strike my own question.
You stated to being present during the booking process into the Muskego Police Department.
Also, if you guys could give a like to the stream, I will appreciate it. I don't know how many likes do we have. I mean, but if you guys could take a second, like the stream, I will be really appreciative about it.
Department, is that fair to say?
Yes.
So why couldn't interrogation be conducted at that time, which would have been more ideal, considering that you said there was a lockup. I forgot how you referred to it, but basically like a room where the detainee could be, which would have been secured.
Well, you had been talking about at that point when we arrived at the facility with you that you hadn't eaten all day, you hadn't slept, so we wanted to give you an opportunity to eat, sleep, clear your mind, and refresh yourself.
Yeah.
And what bearing would that have on interrogation?
Well, I mean, you said you hadn't eaten, you hadn't slept. So I think a person is more focused when they're fed and they're rested. So we wanted to give you the opportunity to do that.
in your opinion, how would that have affected interrogation?
I'm gonna
This when they're fed.
right now, so if our jury, we could stand for the jury so I can take up a legal issue, please. All rise.
Like this was it for the judge. She was like, okay, enough. We had you asked the same questions about everything like 4 times right now. Just move on. .11. Welcome to 906.11 FM, where we bring you all the classic hits from the 90s, 80s, and 70s. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the evening with 906.11 FM. The Judge. How was that?
I'm gonna take up 2 issues right now. One is
Could I apply for a radio host now?
when I paused earlier and told Mr. Brooks I would allow him to. It was regarding the policies. I want to know, as the proponent of the evidence, why you think that's relevant. And then secondly, the questions I believe that you are asking related to the interrogation, unless you can convince me otherwise, go to a legal issue that this court has already determined. But I'll hear you out on that. I didn't want to make.
What does ear hustling mean? Is that good? Is that bad? Stop it. Don't go near the baking soda.
An assumption, but I also didn't want to have you question this witness about what really are legal issues that this court previously addressed regarding the admissibility of the interviews.
Well, to the first one, about the policies, that's relevant because I think it should be stated for the record why he left his phone recording after he acknowledged that the Fifth Amendment right to silence had been invoked. At that point, interrogation is supposed to stop completely.
Well, I understand what you're saying from a legal perspective, but that doesn't mean the recording had to stop in and of itself at that point. He did provide an explanation on the record.
His explanation was that it's policy, right?
Yeah.
He answered the question, why do you believe having the specific policy and him testify about the specific policy is relevant to his testimony?
Well, I believe that if that's in fact policy, it should be proven. It should be proven that that's a fact, that is a real policy. For all we know, he could just be saying that it's a policy. And at that point, it makes him continuing to record after the Fifth Amendment had been invoked.
Well, right now, you assume facts that are not in evidence, sir. And so you're the proponent of this testimony through your cross-examination. And so without something more, sir, I don't see where there's relevance as to what the specific policy is.
Can you see what I'm getting at, though, Your Honor? If he's saying that this is a policy of his agency, he should be able to prove that that's policy. Because at that point, if there's no way to know that that is the correct procedure that they use every time, then
you're,
why?
again, making a lot of generalizations that I don't think are accurate as to what he said. This is a trial, sir, where the allegations in this case are that you drove through the Christmas parade, right, and caused death and injury to a number of individuals. There's also those other charges related to the bail jumping, the battery, and frankly, his conduct isn't on trial. We're not here about a police misconduct trial.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that some of this information might not be relevant to his credibility, things of that nature, but you have to, again, you're the proponent of this. Why do you believe those policies relate to an issue of fact in this case, or otherwise go to your defense?
I believe that is relevant because it can show that at the very minimum that first interrogation and anything related to it should not be admissible as evidence.
That's a legal determination that I've already raised. Your attorney's
Yeah, he's trying to relitigate the discovery. Like, he already allowed that to get in, so you cannot get it out just because you feel like you could.
Represented you at that time. They made a variety of arguments. So to then make this trial about that interrogation, it's not relevant.
I'm not making the whole trial of it.
But the issues are legal issues that this jury will not be asked to answer. I've already ruled on the admissibility. That's a legal determination. So I'm not seeing
Hello, Joanna. Good morning.
the relevance to those specific policies, and there is simply no requirement that the state or this witness has to prove those policies. You are representing yourself. Hold on, let me finish. You're representing yourself.
Sorry.
I'm not aware of any subpoena that required him to bring those policies with. So that would have been on you if you felt it important to cross-examine him on those policies to require that. I'm not aware of that. Have you done that?
Of course not. He wouldn't know to do that. And now hear what he's gonna say.
Obviously, it was gonna come up.
See? He loves to say that everything that favors him is obvious. But when he has to do something, you have to explain every single detail of it. For him, it's not obvious.
Did you issue a subpoena ducus tecum to this witness to bring with any of his policies related to interrogation?
How can I do that myself, Your Honor? How
You had
can I do that
subpoenas.
from a jail cell?
You were given all of those blank subpoena copies, sir, and you could have filled that out in a way for this witness to require. You didn't do that. So
Who would have served him?
the state would have.
The state, just like they did with all the other subpoenas. I don't get why this is an issue.
Like they served your other subpoenas. But be that as it may, that's not what we have here. So I believe that your line of questioning is on a topic that's not relevant to the issues in this case. So I'll give you one more opportunity. Why do you believe that questioning him about the policies are relevant to your case?
It's relevant to the case because why would he be recording before people are even in the room and then after?
Because that's what he do. That's the way that he works. Come on.
That's argumentative, sir. That's not a legal basis.
Once the Fifth Amendment is invoked, interrogation is supposed to stop.
Yes, period. You said it. You just said it right there. When the Fifth Amendment is invoked, interrogation is supposed to stop. And the interrogation stopped. It did. But no one's saying anything about the recording. That's a different issue.
Period. There's supposed to be no more recording, no more questions asked.
By the way.
Should be the end of the whole interrogation.
These are legal issues that you're trying to raise before the jury. I've already dealt with the admissibility, so you've not provided a legal basis to further question this officer about policies related to the interrogation and the recording. He has answered questions. I gave you some leeway on that, and his answers are before the jury. Certainly you'll be able to argue the meaning of that or the lack thereof during your closing arguments if we get to that point. Let's move on, though, to this issue about...
Hello, Bob Keaton. Good morning.
Why I excused the jury. And again, I believe you're questioning him about legal issues that aren't relevant, but you're the proponent. You want to question him. What's the legal basis you believe I should allow you to continue with that?
What legal basis are you referring to?
I believe you were attempting to elicit information or evidence, testimony from this witness on issues that are not relevant.
Is that referring to the same question?
Not
I
the
asked about
policies, what I
policy?
just stopped the testimony for, because I don't want to create issues in front of this jury related to legal issues that are not before them to determine.
And is that referring to the question about the policies?
No. You were asking him, why did you stop? Why did you not question him further? Meaning, why did this detective not question you when you got to the Muskego Police Department? Why did they wait till the next day? I stopped because I know the law on this area, and I know that when a subject invokes their Fifth Amendment, or when you're a defendant in state, it's the 14th Amendment, but nonetheless, right, you have rights under the Wisconsin Constitution as well, but that because you only invoked your right to remain silent, they waited to question you until a sufficient amount of time had passed, in addition to the other reasons. I'm not going to let you question him in front of the jury about that specific thing. Or at least I'm cautioning you that I'm stopping it because I don't see where that's relevant, but if you keep pressing him on that, you're going to open up the door to him saying, because I was following the constitutional requirements and giving you a break in the questioning so that I could, get a statement I believe would be admissible later on. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
With all respect, Your Honor, I don't think he would have said that.
My concern was we were headed down that path. So if there's some other reason you want to question him.
The 14th Amendment would have been referring to the having the attorney present.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So you said, when you stated that you know the law in that area about the Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment, what were you referring to on the 14th Amendment?
I'm not going to explain that any further, sir. Let me just ask the state if they see this any other way, if you think I'm mistaken, and I was concerned we were headed down that path, which would be a legal determination, but if there's something the state sees that differently, please let me know.
I actually thought that Mr. Brooks was questioning this witness about why they didn't do the first interrogation at Muskego. So I thought that there was some miscommunication between the two of them. And I just wasn't sure. I didn't want to object for that reason because I just wasn't sure what Mr. Brooks was talking about at that time.
Well, that's fair enough, because if that's what you were trying to question him on, then I think that's fair game.
I agree with Attorney Daisy. That's what I was getting at. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I agree with Attorney Daisy. That's exactly what I was getting at.
All right, well, you understand it's my job to protect the record too. So I want to make sure that, all right, so with that understanding that you are questioning this witness about why they didn't take you to Muskego for the first interview, is that where you're wanting to go with all of this?
That was the question.
All right, well, I might have misunderstood, but in any event, it gave us an opportunity to talk about the other thing, so that's okay.
So is that a fair question to ask then? Because I'm confused now if I'm even allowed to ask that question.
I think part of the issue sometimes, sir, is sometimes the questions aren't as artfully worded as they could be. I know you're doing your best. I like to look at it this way. Questions that are a sentence at a time, meaning a thought at a time, because then they're not compound, are the easiest for a witness to answer. And when you start bringing in other things, it can be confusing, and then I might not understand, or a party or a witness.
That whole time I was saying such insightful things. I was going off in this thing about life and all the secrets of the universe, and now you guys don't get to know that. I'm sorry. Well, moving on.
Witness might not understand what you're asking. So looks like it's one of those situations where I was a bit unclear. It's been clarified. If that's the line of questioning that you are going to go, then that's fine. then I would allow that. I'm not going to stand in the way of that. If the state objects, obviously that's a different story, then I'll have to rule on it, but I think we're all on the same page now.
And just for the record, Jared, I will be objecting. I don't want there to be, just because I think this has been asked and answered. He was taken to Waukesha Memorial Hospital for medical clearance. They want to minimize the number of times that he's transported, and they needed the information sooner rather than later. So I will be objecting as to asked and answered. I just didn't want to, we asked the question that the court suggests.
Hello, Christine. Hey, watching on the big screen. Hello. Like, that's one of my stats. Like 30% of you guys watch me on your TVs, which is kind of crazy. I'm in HD 4K right now.
Then I object, and so I do want to put that on the record just so the court's prepared for it.
Understood.
The question of why wasn't the first interview conducted at Muskego Police Department had not been answered.
I'm going to let you ask that question. So even if they object, we'll put everyone on notice. So because I think it's reworded a bit differently, so I think it's fair. I'm going to let you ask that. All right? Let's bring the jury back out. I might have to get me more water too.
Hello, Deacon. Good morning.
Thank you so much. You have enough water, sir? You have water?
Yeah.
You have enough?
Run through this one.
All right, we'll make sure there's another one. I can't see behind the monitor. What you got or don't have.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have an employee review next week for a raise, and I'm going to Seattle end of the month for early birthday present. Hey, nice. Hopefully you'll do really good on your review, and happy early birthday. Seattle is great. I have a friend that lives in Seattle. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Miss Santana. Everyone's getting in right now. I should do my streams later, maybe. You guys, more people can show up at this time.
All right, thank you, everyone. Please be seated, and Mr. Brooks, you may continue with your questioning of this witness.
And do you recall why the first interview was not conducted at Muskego Police Department?
Yeah, so in regards to the first interview at that point, as I kind of stated in my earlier testimony, we didn't know exactly where you'd end up. Muskego didn't become an option and something we thought of as a final place for you until after the first interrogation was attempted and was over with.
And do you recall if you made that determination yourself, or was it
21 years. Wow, that's great. The most that I've been in a job is 7 years. Right now I'm 5 years on my current one. What do you do?
your supervisor or something?
I know you
of
work
that nature?
nights.
Objection relevance.
Ground.
As to where they were going to take you?
Yes.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
I discussed it with Detective Casey.
And at that time, that's when you learned that Muskego.
I'm not young. I'm 33 years old. I'm turning 34 this year. I don't feel young anymore. My knee is bothering me.
Police station was a viable location.
Yes, that's the point at which we made the decision.
Had you ever used that police station before in any of your investigations before that evening?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
I had not, but when our department first closed, that was given as an option for us, being we didn't have our own municipal lockup.
And do you recall around what time you started to conduct the second interrogation?
Yes, 12:11 p.m. on the 22nd.
And do you recall how that interrogation started?
Hey, congratulations on 25 years. All right, let me puzzle this game out. So, if your oldest son is the same age as you was when you married your husband, then 48, 23. Your oldest son is 23 right now.
Yes, I explained to you I had more information about the domestic, and that's what I was looking to speak to you about.
Hey, I got it.
Do you recall making a statement that we all know how women can be? They're crazy?
I do.
And what did you mean by that?
It was just additional rapport building that I've talked about in my earlier testimony. Speaking to you on a...
Like I said on my last, on yesterday's stream, I'm so freaked out by the even thought of having a kid. I don't know. That's one of the things that I'm really afraid, like having to actually care for a little person that you need to educate and safekeep for basically all your life. It's like a daunting task for me.
Person-to-person level, quite honestly.
I don't know how you guys do it.
It wasn't a judgment I generalized towards all women in the world. It was just wanted you to feel comfortable talking to me as a person. I felt we had rapport. I felt I could tell the night before you were comfortable speaking to me. And it was just a continuation of that.
So it'd be fair to say that
Wow, 48 years. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's really great. It's really fun it's really nice to get to know you guys. Like, you guys have kids, you guys are married. It's all awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
comment doesn't reflect your
I don't have a lot to share. I don't have kids. Never been married. I have a job. I do IT.
opinion of women.
Correct.
Why did you feel that would have been necessary to build a report that you stated that you already felt that you had?
Because it was just being relaxed. I was relaxed. I didn't want to make...
All right, Christine, you need to join the Discord and show me a picture of that puppy. I need to see him.
You feel unnecessarily nervous. We had been, talking to each other in the casual conversation from the night before, very civilly, very openly about non-custodial topics. And I was just continuing to go along those lines. It wasn't anything other than to just communicate with you on a I guess, stiff level, relaxed level.
And do you feel, would it be fair to say that other comments could have been used to keep the detainee at ease? Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Was there any other conversational tools
Hello, Marisol. Good morning.
you could have used to keep the detainee at ease?
Objection. Same.
Grounds.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Perhaps, maybe.
So it'd be fair to say for the situation, you felt that the conversational tool you used would be more appropriate at that time?
Yes.
So just ask that one more time, please.
You felt that, would it be fair to say that you felt that at that time, the conversational tool that you used would be more appropriate for the situation?
I don't know that I was really thinking about
Am I muted
appropriateness.
again?
Like I said, I was just
I don't
conversing you
think
on a
I'm muted.
normal person to
You guys-
person
you
level.
should be able
was
to
my
hear
intention
me.
at the time.
So it would be fair to say that you assume that would put the detainee more at ease by starting the conversation with along those lines?
I wanted you to be relaxed. That's not anything that I did just specifically for you, Mr. Brooks.
Hey, Christine, thank you for re-upping your membership. 2 months. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I always want people to be as relaxed as they can be. I want them to feel comfortable to talk to me if they are willing. It doesn't change the fact that ultimately I have to read Miranda. But I always want all the people I talk to feel comfortable and be willing and know that they can talk to me if they want to.
Speaking of Miranda, do you recall reading the Miranda rights in the second interrogation?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall how long into the interrogation before you read the Miranda rights?
Objection.
Grounds.
Objection, misstatement,
Grounds.
and mischaracterization of the evidence.
Grounds.
Well, sustained as to the form of the question.
It would be fair to say that the second interrogation was pretty long.
Yeah, maybe it's because I haven't streamed in a while, so maybe he's just doing his stuff. But yeah, Blanco's not here now.
Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall when in the second interrogation you read the Miranda rights?
Your Honor, I am going to object again to the form of the question.
Grounds.
The interrogation began, the court made a finding as to when the interrogation began prior.
I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question. Calls for a
Hey,
legal
speaking
conclusion.
of, he's here. Welcome.
Next question.
Did you immediately start the second interrogation with the reading of Miranda rights?
No, that is not the first thing I stated to you. First, I explained to you what I was wishing to talk to you about.
And do you recall how long you were in that explanation phase of the interrogation?
Maybe around 15 minutes, 16 minutes.
So it'd be fair to say that you didn't read the Miranda rights till somewhere after already interrogating the detainee for 15 minutes at least.
Objection.
Grounds.
Misstatement.
Sustained. Calls for a legal conclusion. Misstates the testimony as well.
Basically,
read
it's
the-
all wrong.
You read the Miranda rights after 15 minutes.
Yes, thereabouts.
Do you recall why you didn't start the second interrogation with the Miranda rights?
I'm not required to read them immediately, so those first 15 minutes were verifying your personal information, explaining that I now wish to talk to you about a domestic involving your girlfriend, and then I read them before asking you any specific questions about that event.
would it be fair to say that you had already obtained personal information the night before?
I had, but I didn't have it in front of me, and I have to recomplete the whole Miranda sheet. So I had to refill out the top form of the sheet, which is your name, so I had to verify that.
So it'd be fair to say that you had obtained personal information that you didn't bring with you for the second interrogation?
I did not have your information written down at that point. Yes.
Do you recall why at that time you didn't have the personal information that you had already obtained?
I mean, hopefully we can get millions someday. That will be nice. Trace again. Where are millions? They need to count these lives. Let's get him.
No, as in.
I don't recall why I didn't have it.
And you said you started off the second interview with information about domestic allegations. That'd be fair to say?
Yes, after reading Miranda, if that's what you're asking.
No, I
You're
didn't.
right. I don't know what are you asking then? Just so I'm clear.
The question was, again, you started off the second interrogation with domestic allegations.
Yes, that was part of the beginning, explaining to you those allegations that had come forward. Things I didn't know about the night before.
All right, Christine, thank you.
Any reason why you wouldn't explain the real reason why the detainee was being detained?
What do you mean real reason? That was one of the reasons why you were detained. And what is this real reason that you're saying, Mr. Brooks? Care to elaborate a bit more? So you know why you were being detained. That means that you did it.
At that point, the domestic was part of the real reason why you were being held in custody.
Did you have any more knowledge about the incident from the previous night at that time?
Are you referencing the parade aspect of it?
Yes.
At that point, yes, I did.
And why wasn't that information given to the detainee at that time?
As I explained in my earlier testimony, the idea behind the second
Hello, Richard. Good morning.
interrogation was I began with the domestic abuse issue.
Hello, Quiet Neater. Hey, Mel, summoning works. More people are joining in. Give a like to the stream, guys. If you guys have the time to do it, I will appreciate it.
Issues. Questioned you about those, and then moved into the parade aspect of the investigation.
And why not start with all the information you knew?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Relevance. That's the grounds.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Hey, 40 years. That's awesome.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Why would you not start the second interrogation with the information that you knew?
In regards to the parade?
In regards to all the information that you had at the time?
Well, as I stated again in my earlier testimony, as we began the second interrogation, I explained it was about a domestic with your girlfriend, Erica Patterson.
USC LSU ladies baseball game? Is that what BB means? I'm not into baseball, but that sounds fun.
But again, I can't give you all the details because part of gauging truthfulness and avoiding I'm not leading you is not telling you every single thing. I told you she alleged there were physical injuries, but I can't really tell you what they were because I want to see if you're going to be honest and tell me what they were. Additionally, telling you what the injuries were as far as Mr. Patterson could cause you to create a lie to avoid those. And it's the same issue with the parade.
Did
Oh,
you
basketball. Yeah. Okay.
speak to the complainant of the domestic allegations at that time?
Objection. The use of the word complainant.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Had you spoken with Ms. Patterson about the alleged domestic allegations?
I did not.
So it would be fair to say that you, at that time, didn't know if they were true or not?
No, that wouldn't be fair to say.
Why not?
And why would that not be fair to say?
Well, hold on. It's for this jury to determine the facts of this case, including the domestic allegations. So I'm not going to let a witness comment on his belief or not on any other witness's testimony or information. Fair enough?
I apologize.
All right. Next question.
Alive with Alfonso speaks. Hello, David. Good morning. I don't know who Alfonso speaks is. Let me look him up. I don't know. It's, I will do it. I mean, why not? Should be fun.
Had you at any time before the
Alfonso
second
speaks.
interrogation spoke with Ms. Patterson?
No.
You made reference, I believe.
I mean, he has like 4 times my subscriber count, so I don't know if he's even willing to speak with me.
It was in both interrogations. To reading, it was in reference to the Miranda rights, stating that if I was at home on my couch, do you recall making that statement?
Yes.
And what do you mean by that? At home on my couch. What do you mean by that?
Well, Miranda is strictly custody based, so I could interrogate you or question you about a matter in which you were a suspect at your home, and I would not be required to read those warnings. Being we were in custody, we were at the Muskego Police Department. You've been handcuffed, you've been transported. Custody was obvious. I'm required by law, therefore, to read you those rights based on you being in custody.
I mean, I will do it. I never done a collaboration with anyone. I don't think that I'm that big to be able to like be asking for that, but I will do it. I'm down.
You made a reference to that's a requirement by law. In custody, you have to read those by law.
Objection. Relevance.
I am going to cover the Van der Ark trial. Wendy, I am. We watch. If you watch the video from yesterday, we watched a little bit of that. But yeah, I'm gonna cover it starting maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna say when I'm gonna start covering, but I am going to cover that following the finale of the Darrell Brooks trial, which should come out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be like the sentencing, and that's gonna be the final video of the playlist. I still have to do some videos of the beginning of the trial that I didn't cover. So those are gonna continue coming out, but the finale is coming out tomorrow.
For this hearing.
I'm going to sustain that objection. I believe it's also been answered. So, next question.
Do you recall if those Miranda readings are to be at the beginning of interrogation?
No, he said that he's not required to do that.
This has been asked and answered as well.
Sustained, it has. It also calls for a legal conclusion, which is not appropriate. Next question.
The Rosenbaum. All right, I have, how much time do I have? I still have 20 minutes. Let's look into this Rosenbaum case. Rosenbaum case. What is it about?
If there is anything that the juror wants to say to us, then I want it to communicate it to us by way of note.
Putting on a facade. But during this trial, they will be exposed to you as the liars, the abusers, and the murderers that they are. The dictionary defines facade as an outward appearance that is maintained to conceal an unpleasant reality. This is the Rosenbaum's home. It's a facade because on the outside, it appears to be a place of safety. It appeared to be the place where two young girls who had lived an unstable life from the time they were born would finally have a safe home to land in. But the reality, it was a home of terror, and a home of horror, and a home where Layla Daniels was murdered. These defendants are a facade. They appear to be nice, kind, and loving. That's how they presented themselves to everyone in 2015 when they wanted to get Millie Place and Layla Daniel. They appeared to be that protection that these girls would finally have. But the reality, they are liars, abusers, and murderers. They were not
Those are some big accusations.
protectors. Jennifer Rosenbaum was an abuser. You heard the judge read the indictment. Unknown man, 49 charges.
49?
We don't know what she did to those babies, but we know she beat them. I'll rephrase that, Your Honor. The evidence will show that they are abusers, liars, and murderers. The evidence will show that Jennifer Rosenbaum beat Layla Daniels and she beat Millie Place unmercifully.
I like her energy. I really like her energy.
We don't know if she kicked him, if she stumped him, or she punched him, but we know she did something to him to cause extreme damage. And Joseph Rosenbaum sat by and did nothing. Just let it happen. And that's why they are sitting here before you today. And the tears of facade.
All right, nice.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, these girls, they did not have the best start. Their mom, Tessa Daniels, she was addicted to drugs since she was a teenager. She struggled. Their life was unstable, unpredictable, and unreliable with her. She drugged them from place to place, home to home, and you'll hear sometimes she left them with strangers that she only knew for a matter of minutes. Their fathers, Jacob Place and Anthony Daniel, they were in and out of jail, not really a part of these girls' lives. So people believed from the moment that they came into this world, they were in harm's way, that they would not have that safety and the protection that they needed, that they deserved as young girls. So in May of 2015, when these, what the evidence will show as liars and abusers and murderers showed up, everybody had a sigh of relief because that facade was there. They were dressed well, they spoke well, they were educated and homeowners. Finally, these girls are going to be safe. Finally, they're going to have the protection that they need and they deserve. But that wasn't the reality at all. They were probably they were in more danger with these defendants than they were with anybody that they passed through the hands of over the course of their short lives.
So they were like foster kids, like they didn't really had a home, and they landed with these guys. So this is this kind of like, I don't remember, but is that what is going on?
Now, on November the 17th, the facade came crumbling down. They were exposed. They were exposed to EMT, hospital staff, police officers, and defects workers for who they truly were. And that's why we're here today, because of those events that came to light on November the 17th. Now, the judge read you the indictment.
I like that this is a new case for all of you guys. I like that. Thank you for recommending it, Christine. This is the Rosenbaum trial. So it's good. Hello, BBB.
And he will tell you that the state has the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That means that we must prove each and every count of that indictment, each element of those charges, to you beyond a reasonable doubt. And as the state, we take that very seriously. We want to make sure that we meet our burden. So over the course of this trial, you will hear from everyone. Family members, family friends, doctors, anyone who cared for these children. So you can understand that the danger they were in were when they were with these defendants, no one else. Now, you hear from, like I said, a lot of people. And at times it may get confusing because it's a lot to keep up with. So I ask you guys to have notepads in front of you. I ask that you take notes, write down dates, write down events, because you're going to have to recall it. Although we have a court reporter, you won't get a transcript to go back there with you. So I ask that you be attentive throughout the entire trial. Even when it seems to be daunting, we need you to pay attention. These girls need you to pay attention. Now, it's funny to me that criminal trials usually start at the end of something. The end of an armed robbery, the end of a shoplifting, the end of a rape. In this case, and unfortunately, at the end of Layla's life. But I think it's important for you to know the beginning, to know how we got here. You'll hear from Peggy Banks, who is the great-grandmother of Millie Place and Layla Daniels. She's probably the most stable person in these girls' lives. But unfortunately, due to her age and health conditions, she wasn't always able to get the girls and take them in and give them that safety and protection that they needed. She was there, but she could not have them where she was physically all the time. And then you have Regina Banks and Richard Clendenny. These are the girls' grandparents. And you'll hear for years they struggled with drugs, and they just were not people of safety for these girls. And I told you about Tessa Clendenny. This is the girl's mother. As I stated, Tessa was young. She struggled with drug addiction, and to be quite honest, she's still struggling. And you'll hear from her. She's going to come into court, and she's going to testify. And she's lost a child, and she's still dealing with drugs. But what she's going to tell you, you will be able to find based on the evidence that she is credible. That her girls, when they were with her, no harm came to them. Now, Millie Place is the oldest. She was born in 2011. Her father is Jacob Place. And Anthony Daniel, and when Tessa broke up with Jacob Place, her and Anthony Daniel began to date, and they had a child, Layla Daniel. Layla was born on July the 18th of 2013. Millie was born on October 4th, 2011. She likes to tell you you can remember it by saying 10-4. You'll hear from Millie, and she will come in and she will talk to you about what she endured and what she can remember, because I want you to remember she was very young when this happened, ladies and gentlemen. But she's going to come in here and she's going to do the best that she can to explain to you what happened to her when she was in the hands of these defendants. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I told you they went from hand to hand, over the course of literally a year. Probably for the first year of Millie's life, things seemed to be pretty stable. She was with Tessa and Jacob. They lived together, and they seemed to be doing fine. Tessa was working, Jacob was working. They were living in the house with Regina Banks. Now, there was an incident that I'm sure the defense would let.
What state? I think it's California, probably.
Let you know about that.
Let me look into
I
it.
believe it was the beginning of 2013. It was New Year's Day. Millie got outside. She was probably a little bit over a year old, and she was walking down the street. Someone saw her, called the police, and defects came in. They came in. They didn't take Millie away. They said they didn't find her having injuries, any issues. They told the parents, you need to lock the doors, you need to put those secure locks. If anybody has small kids, how you put those locks on the doors to keep them from going out. Sometimes it keeps the adults from going out too. But they put those on and everything was fine. Then at some point in time,
Hey, yes, this is Georgia.
Tessa and Jacob Place, they parted ways. And she began to date Anthony Danny. Shortly after Layla was born, almost 2 months later, Anthony Danny was arrested, and Tessa fell apart. She relapsed. She just couldn't take it anymore, and she went missing. During that time, she was staying with her mother and Anthony's sister, Caitlin Danny, who you'll hear from. And from about September of 2013 to July of 2014, Layla stayed with Regina and Caitlin. They moved to different apartments, but they kept Layla with them. They both were working. They made sure that they had a babysitter to take care of her while they were at work, and then they would come home and take care of her during that time. Millie.
Hello, Tina.
She wasn't with Caitlin and Regina. Tessa kept her with her. As her firstborn, she kind of clung on to Millie. So Millie would be with her sometimes. If she wasn't with Millie, she would have her with her great-grandmother, Peggy. And then in July of 2014, Regina and Caitlin lost their partner. They had to move in with a friend, Cynthia Tate, who was someone that they worked with, and her daughter, Tiffany Shaw. And while they were living there, Tiffany Shaw began to take care of Layla. She also had a son that was around the same age as Layla, and she basically will tell you that she just kind of raised them like twins. They were just a few days apart. And they stayed there with her for almost a year. At some point in time, defects got involved, and they made them as a safety plan for these girls. And they would come and check and make sure that they were okay. And you'll hear that everything was fine when they were living with Cynthia Tate and Tiffany Shaw. Sometime between July and September of 2014, Tessa got Millie, and she brought her over to the Tate's house. And while at the Tate's house, Tiffany Shaw's dad and stepmom was there. Tessa knew that she had a probation.
All right, how about this? How about this? I'm gonna put out a poll in the channel. Like, I'm gonna release tomorrow's video for the finale of Darrell Brooks. Then I'm gonna put on a poll to see which case you guys wanna see first. You guys wanna see the Rosenbaum or the Van der Ark trial? And that way you guys can decide what you guys wanna see. I'll cover them both. I'll put the link right now. I'll put the link to the playlist on the chat right now. There you go. So you guys decide which one you're gonna see first. You guys want to see the Rosenbaum first, or you guys want to see the Van der Ark first? So how you guys think that will work? I cannot say that I can cover both at the same time. That's too much. But I can. I love the energy of this. I love the energy of this prosecutor. Hello, Jenny. I'm wrapping up for the day, but yeah, this one looks really interesting. It's long. I can see the playlist right now, and I will have to edit this down myself. How about this? How about this? I still have some Darrell Brooks videos that I have to release, like this week. So while that's going on, I will edit down these videos. Oh, the Van der Ark was 3 to 4 days? Yeah, that's good then. then maybe I can do both in a really short time. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really torn because I want to do both. And both look really they both sound awful, which is the worst part of all. That's the worst part of making these videos. That I'm making videos of awful people doing awful stuff. It gets to you sometimes. But I'll do them. I'm really torn because let's see. Day 1 is just 2 parts, which is an hour and a half. Day 2 is 2 parts, which is 2 hours and a half. No. Day 2 is 4 hours. 5 hours. So day 2 is 5.5 hours. So I have to edit that down. I cannot do that all at once. Day 3 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Day 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Yeah, I think we can do Bandersnark first because it's shorter, and then we can get deep down into the Rosenbaum trial. I think that works better. Yeah. All right. See you guys on the next episode. Video up tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.